Kaufman is Alive. I look at comic books new and old. Today I'm looking at the free Marvel previews for September 2026. You can pick up this book at your local comic shop. It's got all the upcoming previews for all the upcoming Marvel books here. And what they're promoting on the cover is a new Avengers #1. Big shock there. Marvel taking one of their flagship titles and starting the renumbering process once again at issue #1. Feels like we do this every year or two with every single title. It is really, really tiring as a comic book fan. I understand you want to try and collect series into volumes, but I'm always been a big proponent of the legacy numberings and not restarting books back at #1 just to sell new #1s. Because it seems like there's a law of diminishing returns going on here when it comes to all these #1s. Although I'm not getting the sales of comic books, so what do I know? But it looks like we're going back to like a new Avengers type of thing from the mid-2000s with Spider-Man and Wolverine on this team, Nick Cage, Captain Marvel. I do like the inclusion of Daredevil in here, although I never think of him as an Avenger, and I think he probably, in my opinion, just works best as a loner type character. But nonetheless, here we are, Avengers #1. This is in the ashes of the Avengers Armageddon series here. So let's just get into this and see what Marvel's got cooking for September. Now, if you've been watching any of my recent videos, you know that I have been pretty critical of the upcoming Marvel stuff. They've really fallen off, I feel like, in the past year. They're not really putting out any comics that I'm really interested in, hardly at all. Just some, minor miniseries. That seems to be all I've been picking up. I'm not really collecting any ongoing titles from Marvel. And I think a big part of that is just because of the renumbering thing, honestly. It just feels like at Marvel, you can't get really a lot of modern comic books. I don't just mean to call out Marvel here because DC does it too. You don't really get this type of stuff from Image or independent books, but at least at the big two, you get the renumbering thing. It's really annoying, and it feels like you can never really sink your teeth into a series, or maybe once you do, they pull it out from under you and cancel it. So that seems like what keeps happening with all these books. Like I was saying, I understand if you get a new creative team or something, maybe you want to renumber the book. But I just think having so many different volumes of all these flagship titles and renumbering back to #1, it's so confusing. And I think it makes it a lot harder for new readers to come in, because then it's like, which Avengers do I need to read? Which volume of Avengers #1 should I start at? It just gets really difficult. Marvel has gone back to legacy numbering on Venom, which for some random reason, it's like the only title they reverted back to legacy numbering. I don't know why they don't do it for all the rest of the titles. It would make a lot more sense. They've got Spider-Man that's about to reach issue 1000, they're calling it. I guess if you add up all the issues of Amazing Spider-Man, it'd be the 1000th issue. They might as well just go to 1001 after that. I would imagine a comic book in the thousands, that's a novel concept, and Marvel would be the only comic doing that, and they'd probably at this point have a few titles pretty close to 1000 issues, I would imagine. So Avengers #1, of course, obviously there is a blind bag for this. The blind bag is the biggest gimmick in comics in the past year. We had Image comic books kind of started off with their Battle Beast #1 offered a blind bag, and now it just seems like every single comic company is doing these blind bags. And Marvel, I think, is the biggest offender because they're doing it a lot. It seems like they're doing it a lot more than DC or Image. And they're doing it for titles where I don't even think you really need it, completely watering down the concept of blind bags. If you're going to put out an Avengers #1, fine, I get it. But they've done it even for like Queen in Black. Doesn't really make a whole lot of sense to me. I think they had a new one for a Doctor Doom series, which I was looking for that one at my comic book shop and I could not find it. They had like one copy and they had it priced at like over $20, so I was not going to buy that. So I don't know, the blind bag thing, you can still pick up a regular copy, I think, at cover price. This new Avengers, it says it's going to be $5.99 and 40 pages. So Chip Zdarsky's the writer, and Marco Cicchetto is doing the artwork. I do love Marco Cicchetto's artwork. So this might be something to check out. And again, I do like the team. And it seems like we've gotten rid of the big three: Thor, Iron Man, Captain America, nowhere to be found here. And it said the Earth's Mightiest Survivors. So I'm assuming maybe some of the main characters, like we see here, the big three, maybe they're gonna not be here anymore. Who knows? I think they all still have their ongoing series, so who knows what the hell's going on here. But like I said, this feels like New Avengers from like 20 years ago. I mean, Luke Cage, Wolverine, Spider-Man, all on this team. Feels very much like that. So this doesn't feel like anything too new. And honestly, I don't like Wolverine being on the Avengers either. He's got so much going on. There's got to be multiple clones of Wolverine running around at this point, because there's no way he could be in like 4 places at once, which he always seems to be every month. We got Captain America number 15 here. This is also written by Chip Zdarsky. Valerio Schiti is the artist. It says Siege of the Red Skull. This is a $4.99 book. It says a giant battle breaks out as Mephisto's volatile ally Red Skull and his army of vengeful spirits fight the free souls of the underworld. Can Captain America rally the dead and form his own army in time to topple Mephisto's restless hordes? I like that they're bringing Mephisto back here out of, like, I think he's just pretty much been in the 2099 universe recently. So I like that they're bringing him back. Same month, we got the New Avengers number 1 coming out. They're finishing up the Avengers Armageddon miniseries. Also, Chip Zdarsky, apparently he's the only writer at Marvel, at least at this point in the previews. Delio Diaz and Frank Alpizar is doing artwork on this book and the Dyke Ruan covers. And Dyke Ruan's been making some great covers at Marvel recently, specifically like in the Ultimate Universe. It says a key moment in Marvel history as a new character takes the stage. The Marvel Universe changes forever right here, right now. The Avengers are torn apart as a shocking character makes their debut, setting the stage for November's Avengers number 1. Well, it says November's Avengers number 1, but here they're previewing it for the September solicits. So I don't really know what's going on. I think Marvel delayed the new Midnight series and DNX. I think they got pushed back a month or so. I'm not certain about that, but it looks like they're having timing issues, specifically in the past like few months. Marvel has putting out their books, like the Ultimate books. They had the finale come out, and then the Reborn Ultimate stuff came out before the finale even happened. It's just, they seem to be timing things kind of weird, but I don't know what's going on at Marvel these days. They've just got new leadership, so maybe they're just trying to pick up the pieces, but left over from the old regime. Here's the Midnight. This is Midnight Fantastic Four. There's going to be a Midnight X-Men and a Midnight Spider-Man. I love these creative teams on here. I think this Fantastic Four book honestly looks the most interesting to me. Ben Percy's kind of hit and miss with me, although I really liked his Wolverine stuff. And I liked Kev Walker too. I like his artwork. And we got these great Lineal Francis Yu covers. And look at these Fantastic Four costumes. I really like the four symbol that they've got on these costumes. They look like an hourglass, but in the shape of a four. Really interesting. I really like that. And I guess time is a theme of these books with Midnight. So they've got the hourglass. I think it says a terrifying new universe. So I believe this is kind of a sort of like the Ultimate Universe. But so they're retelling all of these stories and retelling all of these characters, X-Men, Fantastic Four, Spider-Man, in a different universe. And I think it's more of a horror-based universe. That's what it looks like here. So it says First Steps into Darkness. Let's see what they got for Fantastic Four here. An obsessive scientist delves into the secrets of the universe, perhaps best left unknown to humankind, leaving himself and three others warped in strange and horrifying ways. What horrible secrets lie in the new dimensions they have discovered, and can humanity survive the discovery? So, like I was saying, yeah, it feels like this is going to be a new origin for these characters, a retelling of the classic stories, or maybe just completely new takes on everything here. We do get some preview pages of Kev Walker, and this looks really great. Like, look at these landscapes and all this technology, two totally different styles or settings. And man, this is one I might pick up, honestly. Looks kind of interesting. And if I'm picking up Midnight Fantastic Four, I guess I should probably just pick up Midnight X-Men as well. X-Men is my jam, so we got Jonathan Hickman returning to X-Men, so I wonder what he'll cook up before he cuts out before the finale. It says, the X-Man cometh, the peace between the unturned mutants and the empires is a fragile one. No group dares to move against the other in fear of sparking an all-out war. Only one man is brave enough to openly stand against the empires and put down as many of them as he can. This is the story of Cyclops Vampire Hunter. I forgot that the vampires are going to be a big part of this. And boy, I am so checked out on vampires. I really have no interest reading a comic book about vampires anymore. After Blood Hunt and Spawn spent a year talking and doing vampire stories. I just don't think vampires and superheroes mix very well. Amazing Spider-Man 1000 here. We got the biggest issue in Amazing Spider history. I'd be remiss if I didn't mention the John Romita Jr. cover that got pulled after people started going, what is this? What is this cover? Why is he shrugging? I said, if you see the original pencils of this, it looks a little better. I don't know if this kind of painted coloring helps it a little bit, but I see what he's trying to do here. This cover doesn't bother me at all. Marvel, after they got a bunch of criticism for it in the first place, and then once they pulled it, they got even more criticism, so they put the comic back in the solicit. So here we go. This Alex Ross cover right next to it, though, that's pretty spectacular stuff, man. I would just love an straight up Alex Ross Spider-Man comic book. I think that would be incredible. So Spider-Man faces his greatest fear and most frightening new villain in decades, Ravage. Now, they had this in the solicits last month, too. So, again, I don't know if it's getting delayed from August to September. Who knows? Just go to your local comic shop. It'll be there in one of those months. But I don't know if bringing Ravage into the 616, if he hasn't already been in there, is anything to get excited about. Ravage, probably the most panned, least liked 2099 character. We got the Amazing Venom #1, a new Venom series here. I'm assuming this is taking the place of All New Venom or whatever they're calling it. But again, reverting back to #1, so I don't know what the point of going back to legacy numbering for the past few months was. Makes no sense to me. It says a Queen in Black tie-in? The solicits don't even know. Really love this cover though here. Nick Klein is on this cover. I think this is an homage to a previous Spider-Man cover where he's in the black costume, and I think that's in a Spectacular Spider-Man issue, but kind of a similar thing going on here. But this is really cool. I really like this a lot. We got Aliens vs. X-Men #1 of 4. Aliens vs. X-Men makes a lot of sense. The Brood, of course, was Chris Claremont's version of the aliens that he brought into Marvel not too soon after those Alien movies came out, introducing the Brood into X-Men. So this makes a lot of sense. I like the Ryan Stegman cover too, drawing all the aliens. That's cool. It says they went looking for a Phoenix egg. They found something else. The X-Men returned to Earth with deadly cargo in a violent battle between mutant and alien beings. And will an unexpected ally turn the tide in the X-Men's favor? In this special crossover decades in the making, the next evolution of Marvel's mightiest mutants begins. Will anyone survive the experience? So hope I read somewhere that the Brood will be a part of this. So I think they're gonna, they're not gonna ignore the fact that the Brood exist in this comic. They're gonna be a part of it. So I like that because it makes a lot of sense that if the X-Men went up against aliens, that they would kind of compare them to the Brood, or maybe they're a higher evolutionary form of the Brood or something like that. The March to Hulk War, Infernal Rage. We got a whole bunch of one-shots here with Hulk versus the main Marvel characters here. Hulk War is such a generic title. I mean, I don't think you could get more generic than that. It really tells me nothing. And they've been doing this a lot recently. Like they had the Venom War over in Venom. They had the Sabretooth War in the Wolverine comics. And that's just, to me, honestly, really lazy, super generic. And it doesn't entice me to want to check this out or buy it at all here. So Philip Kennedy Johnson is the writer here, and Kieran McCowan is the penciler. We got Lineal Francis Yu doing a cover here. Not his best stuff, honestly. The road to Hulk War runs through Wolverine because, of course it would. The Muppets Take the Marvel Universe, #1. All right. I don't care about this whatsoever. We got Miles Morales Spider-Man #2, the new rebooted Miles Morales book here. Brian Hill is the writer, Nico Leone and Val De Landro is the artist. It says, Sins of the Father, enter Grendel, a supervillain from Jeff Morales' past who will stop at nothing to have his revenge against the former S.H.I.E.L.D. agent, but their seemingly perfect plan didn't count on Spider-Man. We got Spider-Man Long Way Home #3, The Birth of the Punisher, it says. This is Hickman and Kubert, Adam Kubert, doing the artwork here. I did pick up the first issue of this, and the thing that struck me most about it, I haven't put a review or made a video about it yet, I will, but it was just how little Spider-Man was actually in this. He's only in like the last few pages at all. So a lot of setup in that first issue. Spider-Man Hulk Fire and Brimstone. This is written by Kevin Smith, and we got RB Silva doing the artwork in here. Spider-Man Hulk team up. Spider-Man Brand New Day, #5 of 5. This is Dan Slott's return to the Brand New Day stuff. Punisher vs. Spider-Man, The Rage of the Rhino. I love this Eric Larson cover here. I might be picking this up, not the series, but just this specific issue just for this cover, because I freaking love Eric Larson's stuff. And he's got all the throwback Marvel Comics group headdress stuff, corner panels, just awesome. Really love this cover. We've got Spider-Woman 50th Anniversary Special #1 here. It says, to know her is to cheer her, okay? Celebrating 50 years of Marvel's Dark Angel, it says. 32 pages, that's $4.99. Then we got DNX #1 of 5 for the third month in a row. DNX #1 being previewed in the solicits. I just, like I was saying earlier, don't know for sure, but looks like this stuff just keeps getting delayed. I've talked enough about DNX. We've got DNX #2, it looks like, coming out in the same month, maybe like 2 weeks later. Got some Kari Andrews artwork, though. I love the Kari Andrews cover. I would really like to see him just become like the main X-Men artist. I think he would kill it. Nitho Diaz is the main X-Men artist right now on X-Men, and I really love his stuff too. Reminds me of some 90s style artwork. Jed McKay writing X-Men. We got issues 37 and 38 here, both $4.99. Most of these Marvel books, it seems like, are all $4.99 anymore. They've, well, maybe not so quietly, just kind of raised the price up $1. I mean, that's what was keeping me buying Spawn books for a while there, is Spawn was keeping their prices down at $2.99. They were the only comic book line that was still at $2.99. And I think it was earlier or late last year, they raised their prices on all the Spawn books up to $3.99. And now Marvel, I mean, they've been putting out a lot of $4.99, $5.99 comics for a while, but it seems like everything now is just $4.99. Got some new Uncanny X-Men books coming out, #35, 36. Generation X-23, #8 here. Glorious X-Force, #9. It says X-Force vs. X-Force. Domino assembles her own X-Force. It's Nina, Richter, Shatterstar, and Pug Smasher versus Archangel, Helverine, Ms. Marvel, and Boom Boom. And if that doesn't get you excited, I don't know what will. Gambit Wanted, #3 of 5. This is Chris Claremont taking on Gambit once again. We got Robert Gill doing the artwork here with the Lineal Francis Yu cover. It says the sinister Gambit. Gambit's got a new queen, the mysterious suzerain. All right. But who's playing who in this high-stakes game for their lives? Witness the previously unexplored turning point for Gambit in this crucial time just before he joined the X-Men. Well, I mean, I think a lot of the stuff with Gambit before he joined the X-Men is ripe to be mined. And I mean, I don't think Chris Claremont necessarily has it anymore, but I'm willing to give that series a shot. Maybe in the back bins after it's come out. But Bishop number 4 here. Been loving the covers by David Paratore on this series. X-Men Outback number 4 of 5. Says the Morlocks of the Outback are in trouble and only the X-Men can help. X-Men 97 season 2 number 4 of 5 here. This is great. Todd Nowak taking us back to the late 90s X-Men. This looks really cool. I covered the first issue of this yesterday. Go check out that review and get my thoughts on this series. Pretty impressed so far, to be honest with you, especially for just a cartoon tie-in book. It's pretty damn good. Who is the heir of Apocalypse? In the dystopian future, a band of X-Men fights for survival, while in the present, Cable and his new allies go undercover to expose a cult devoted to Apocalypse. And a surprising new group of mutants loyal to Apocalypse are revealed, including his heir apparent. So we did the Era of Apocalypse last year in the main Marvel 616, so kind of interesting. We're going to be doing it here in the cartoon comic tie-in there. Wolverine number 27 and 28. Saladin Ahmed is the writer, and Julius Ota. He's the artist on 27. Martin Coccolo, the main artist on Wolverine, is back on number 28. Got X-Men United number 7. This is a book I've just completely skipped over. X-Men Omega Red Dawn number 1. I have no idea what this is. Steve Orlando's the writer, so there's probably going to be 40 characters in this book. And Alan Robinson is the artist. It says, when Omega Red abducts Professor X, the X-Men follow in a hot pursuit that takes them around the globe and beyond. But time is of the essence as Omega Red unleashes a deadly chemical attack that spreads rage and violence in his wake. Oh, this is reprinting the X-Men Infinity comic, number 1 through 10. I think those are the comics released on the Marvel Universe app. Gambit Gone. That's a weird title. Number 1. Steve Orlando writing this as well. Eduardo Agino and Gerardo Sandoval are on the artwork here with the Simone de Mayo cover. And this is coming, it says, out of the pages of X-Men of Apocalypse, which is a really great book that I've been reading. I've got one of the issues here of it. X-Men of Apocalypse number 4. Definitely check this series out. I've highly enjoyed it. I'm gonna have a review of that coming out next, of that number 4 issue. But the thing that I love about it is the first few issues didn't feel like it was going to tie into anything current in X-Men, but as I have found out from reading the solicits and some of the upcoming books, everything happening in X-Men Apocalypse is going to play into main X-Men storyline stuff. So I really like that. They're bringing the Gambit from the Age of Apocalypse into the 616. So we're going to have a couple different Gambits running around, it looks like. So I might pick this up, and I wonder if this is a mini-series or what. I don't think it really says here. But it's 32 pages, $4.99. Challenges of Doom, Spider-Man, Dr. Doom versus the Amazing Spider-Man. All right. Big guns. We got, I guess, focusing on the gunslingers of Marvel. We got Wade Wilson, Deadpool number 8. This is kind of, so we got Punisher on the cover of Deadpool and Deadpool on the cover of Punisher here. That's kind of interesting. So crossovers between these two titles, that's something Marvel does not do anymore. I feel like that they used to do all the time, is having these events, instead of just having a mini-series event of its own, like Avengers Armageddon, they actually put it into the main titles and have them cross over, so you got to go buy different titles to get the full story, which I think is a much better idea. And that always enticed me to go pick up other titles I'm not used to buying, because, you know, the storylines connect. This is a variant cover by Jose Maria Casanovas, and it's pretty freaking great. Pretty great cover there. We've got Web of Blood. This is a Marvel Mangaverse, so I think this is a new thing, the Marvel Mangaverse, trying to get all the sales that, I mean, if you hear about manga comics always outselling the United States comics. That's what we got going on here. It looks like Marvel just trying to get some of that manga money. Marvel Zombies Warzone #1. Don't care about that. Queen in Black #4 here. Al Ewing is the writer. Iban Coelho is the artist here. Ryan Stegman's on the cover. Venom Ascending. It feels like whatever I think Donny Cates had planned for Venom a couple years back, and I think it got derailed from whatever issues he was having. He kind of just dropped off the face of the earth, and it doesn't seem to be working in comics anymore. Although I wouldn't be surprised if he comes back. But still, seemed like everything they were doing with Venom, making him the focus of the Marvel Universe, making him the King in Black, got completely derailed instantly. And maybe completely derailed. And it seems like we might be going back to what they were originally intending to do with Eddie Brock and Venom. Maybe. So we got the Amazing Venom series. And I guess I was wrong. Maybe it's not replacing Venom, just the main Venom. So we're going to have 2 different Venom series. We'll see how that shakes out. It says Mary Jane Watson is Venom, and so is everybody else. Venom World lives. But the war between Null and Hela just ended, and even 8 billion Venoms might not be enough to beat the winner. It's the strangest adventure yet for the world's strangest roommates, but is the lease finally up? Maybe this is the last issue. It doesn't say, but it kind of hints at it there. Black Cat #14 here. Got some more Venom, Queen in Black tie-ins. And Queen in Black Venom Unchained and Defenders of the Light and Dark. These are all Queen in Black tie-ins. Not too interested in any of that stuff, really. Black Panther Namor Doomed #1. We got Fantastic Four First Foes. So this is a tie-in to the movie that came out last year. Marvel Gold 76 #1. This is Jack of Hearts, Nova, Star-Lord, and Bullseye. This is a one-shot here. I guess taking us back to the 70s. Ultimate Impact Reborn #5 of 5. This is taking us back to the Ultimate Universe immediately after it ended. Doom Quest #5 of 10. I don't think that Doom Quest needs to be 10 issues. We got Sorcerer Supreme #10, Doctor Strange #10, Iron Man #9. Let me know in the comments if you're reading any of these books, because I'm certainly not. We got Doctor Strange and Doctor Doom, Triumph and Torment #1, written by Roger Stern and Mike Mignola. This is reprinting some stuff from the 80s. Thor #801. This is $4.99. It says The Quest for Thor begins. Daredevil #6 and 7. Stephanie Phillips is the writer. Flaviano is the artist on these issues here. We've got a Jacques variant cover there and a Todd Nowak variant. Those look cool. Mark Spector Moon Knight #8. Got Fantastic Four #16. Civil War Unmasked 5 of 5, taking us back to Civil War. Jeff the Landshark, Superstar #3. Got Godzilla, Predator, Star Wars, all the licensed properties. I never buy any of the licensed stuff. Let me know if you guys are into any of that Star Wars stuff that Marvel puts out. And of course, lots of trade paperbacks. They're putting the full page covers on here. That's pretty cool. I like that. And we got all the trade paperbacks of all the recent stuff Marvel's put out as well. Predator Kills the Marvel Universe omnibus there. Marvel Team Up omnibus. Let me know your thoughts of what Marvel's putting out in September. Let me know if any of these comics you're going to be picking up. I'd say, like I was, maybe the Gambit I might be interested in. Maybe the new Avengers #1, although it looks like stuff we've seen before. This John Byrne's X-Men Elsewhere just came out. Definitely recommend picking this one up. I picked it up. If you can still find it here a week later, it's already sold out at the distributor level. But definitely check that out. I made a video flipping through that if you want to see what's inside. And thanks again for watching. Stay cool, stay happy, and stay in touch.